Hey everyone, Reptar here. Welcome to the second part of what was not supposed to be a two-part video series, but now it is, of the Alter Ego and Bren Esports Grand Finals match from the MPL Invitational. Now, in the first video that we put up on our channel, we analyzed the draft. So, based on what people were telling me on my Facebook page and one comment here in the channel, I thought, hell, I think it would be best that we continue this, make a part 2, and look at the match itself so we figure out and find out what exactly happened to Bren Esports and how did Alter Ego win this grand finals. Those are the questions we're gonna ask, and yeah, you know what? Let's just dive right into it. So for this one, it would be best to start from the very beginning, technically from our last video. So for us to better understand what exactly happened to Bren Esports, we have to talk about the conditions of the matchups going into this game. Now, just so you could see the lineups that we had here. Again, we had the Lunox, the Khalid, the Cho, Roger, and Valir for Bren Esports. And then for Alter Ego, we had the Claude, Farsa, Benedetta, Wan, and Jawhead. So again, for us to better understand and analyze this game, we have to look at the win conditions. For Bren Esports, their win conditions were to dominate the XP lane and secure objectives with a flap rotation. So every time Flap TZ would rotate in any part of the map, they have to secure something. It has to be an objective. Not all the time, but more often than not, it has to. And he has to dominate the XP lane because pretty much the Khalid will be able to dominate the Benedetta, which we actually saw in some parts where Ahmad would be forced to go back early or go back to a point where it would potentially give Flap TZ a advantage in lane. Second one, they had to disrupt the jungle flow farm of Claude because Celiboy on that Claude is one of the best conditions that they have here, and that is their carry. So they have to disrupt that. Not going to be that difficult to do. They can just really take away one buff in the beginning, maybe try to get another smaller camp, but that will be more than enough to disrupt the flow of Celiboy from farming. They also need at least 2 early kills on the 1-1. So they have to make the most out of the fact that they need Rebo out of the gold lane more often than he is in there, meaning that most of the time 1-1 has to be down so that Rebo has room in the map to rotate and help out Bren Esports. Number 4, they have to give space and time for Carl TZ on the Roger to farm up. He's a Roger, so it really wouldn't take that long. And the last one, they have to play aggressive because they can afford to. I like the matchups of their lineup going into this match. They can afford to play aggressive, and I feel like an aggressive Bren Esports where they're really trying really hard to take control of the map even early on, and if they can build an early lead, well, we've seen it in the past. Bren Esports can dominate. For Alter Ego, on the other hand, it's just think of it as the other part of the coins of the conditions of Bren Esports. They had to secure the jungle for Celiboy and the Claude. They have to create space for 1-1. Don't let 1-1 get bullied in lane. If Flap over rotates on the XP lane, they have to trade lane control and utilize the Benedetta burst for lane control and minion wave management. And 2 of the most important ones, lastly, they have to control mid. Don't be shy with using the Feathered Airstrike from the Farsa. They can use it to clear waves. They can use it to deplete few or any member of Bren Esports that they spot in mid real quickly so that Udil can go around and rotate in other parts of the map. And also Leo Murphy doesn't always have to keep hanging around mid. Leo Murphy can help out bot. He can help out top lane. And more importantly, they have to focus on breaking down towers because they have 2 marksmen. Marksmen will past the 6-7 minute mark. Once they have their first items in, will be able to take down turrets and towers really quickly because yeah, the energy shield will be gone by that time. So those are the win conditions for both teams. Now let's look at what happened step by step. This is the beginning of that match where we see Bren Esports playing aggressively. And because of the aggression that they played here at this part, it really allowed them to tell Alter Ego that they have to play carefully, but not too careful because Bren Esports are looking too aggressive. It's a sign for Alter Ego that, you know what, it's game 3. We're going all out. If we're going to lose here, we're going to lose here. So this turned out favorably for Bren Esports. That was a good knock up there by Lusty. First blood there by Few. Would have been nice if that went to Carl Teasy, but at this point you won't complain. You haven't had great starts for most of the series, so you're gonna take that win. So Bren Esports would open it up, and that would lead to another sequence eventually where Bren Esports would utilize the fact that they were able to get members really low and go for an invade. But before that, we see here that Few using the Fligger aggressively. Again, they can afford it to take down Leo Murphy. So this is essentially going to end up becoming a 2-for-1 trade, and you are going to take that because that's a support Valier. And look at the damage that Flap can deal out. That's why I thought, you know what, Flap can bully Ahmad in lane. He has to dominate that XP lane. After this, the next big sequence, and ticking the boxes of the win conditions, as we mentioned earlier for Bren Esports, was that they invaded into the jungle area of Celiboy. And they're playing this right. So far, they started off aggressively, and now they're looking to invade Celiboy's jungle, which turned out really well. Great knockups there by Lusty. He got Celiboy down really low, and now here comes Bren Esports. You see there the reaction and the response. What I don't like here, though, is that Carl TZ dove in a little bit too deep. But that's because Celiboy was a really good-looking target to take down. He was already really low. But check out where he put down Dexter. He left Dexter right here in this shrub. And to give Bren Esports the benefit of the doubt, they knew this. Because the positioning of Few was perfectly read. And Celiboy would eventually come back here and he would get taken out, as you see. Carl TZ diving down. Celiboy looks like a really good target. And this is a testament to the great micro plays of Alter Ego, specifically Celiboy. Boom. Gets brought back. But then Few was there to secure the kill. It was essentially a trade jungle for jungle. Now, this works favorably for Bren Esports because Carl TZ is already level 3. He was able to get one buff. And then now he was also able to secure some assists with the help of the team. Celiboy, who was just starting his rotation onto the purple, couldn't take it. So you've already disrupted the flow of Celiboy's farm. And then at the same time, you are already in lead if you're Carl TZ. So far, that is a great start there for Bren Esports. Now, we won't see another major sequence for another 22 seconds after this, or what I consider to be a major sequence. We're gonna fast forward to right about here. I want you guys to look at Flap. So with this movement here in this part of the map, you can see that is already info for Bren Esports that Ahmad Benedetta is without Cho, and that Ahmad is level 4 and roughly around 50% health. And Flap, if he's placed his cards right, as well as Lusty, they'll be able to take down Ahmad. So there, Ahmad, Lusty, and I want you to see Flap TZ's movement here. Look at that. He already knew that Ahmad was on the run, then he would want to position himself somewhere under turret if he's not going to be going back. And again, testament to Flap TZ's abilities as an XP laner. You can see it in the map right here. You see Few and Leo Murphy getting focused on, but in this part of the map up here, you can see Flap TZ tracking that Benedetta. And then boom, Raging Sandstorm, secure kill. So far, great play by Bren Esports. Alter Ego has the lead because of the few times that Bren Esports had to leave lane and members of Alter Ego would be farming up. But so far, this is the best start that Bren had in this entire series. And this would still continue. However, not too long after that, maybe like around a minute, we started to see what would become a normal occurrence in this game, which was, well, Udil and that Farsa. I want to consider this bad luck or maybe rust on the side of Bren Esports. Maybe great targeting on the side of Udil, but look at this. You can see it here. Hopefully that's big enough on your screen. Feathered airstrike. The next one was targeted towards Lusty, but Few is already heading towards that direction as well. It's just bad luck that he walked right into that. Feathered airstrike coming down again. He even eats the second skill of the Farsa. And the feathered airstrike hits the last one. And of course, the burning damage takes Few out. And that would end up becoming a costly kill, because that bumps Farsa up to level 5 with Few still stuck at level 3. And this would become a problem for Bren Esports in the early game. Few being behind and Farsa being in a lead compared to that of Valir. So this is just great sense by Udil. Pops the Feathered Airstrike. Few isn't even level 4 yet. He's just about to hit level 4. Feathered Airstrike hits, and he waits. This is again a testament to the micro skill of this man, Udil. And this is just Few getting outplayed here. Few is a talented player, one of my favorite players in the mid support position. That was very evident in the grand finals of MPL Philippines Season 6. But in this series, Udil and the rest of Alter Ego were just so much better. Look at that. He really waited. Gets hit with a Feathered Airstrike. And that forces Few back, which means more mid control. Few has to go home. And that's one less man in this scramble that we're seeing in this part of the map around mid. So Bren Esports, it will lead into this one. Litho Wanderer take gone wrong for Carl Teasy. Let's make our screen bigger so you can see it. Udil, man, he already has Feathered Airstrike again. Oh, this Farsa was one of the biggest problems for Bren Esports. Good sense to take that Litho Wanderer, but knowing that since Leo Murphy gave the information for Alter Ego that there are members of Bren Esports here wanting to go for that, he's again not shy about it. Use the Feathered Airstrike in the shrub also, knowing that there is a chance that Lusty might be around this area. And that just goes wrong for Bren. Leo Murphy flickers forward. The ejector, the damage, takes Carl out. That's a trade, but that's not a good trade because you traded your core hero for your tank. That's a 1-for-1, but Alter Ego won that exchange. A little bit later, we're going to be seeing a skirmish between two players here. And it was this that led to turtle control for Alter Ego. You see here, Alter Ego going for the buffs. Lusty spots out to Udil. It's good positioning for Few, by Few. Flap TZ is around here well, so that's relatively great positioning for Bren Esports. Spots out to Udil, forces out the wings by wings. Great. But then, again, Udil not shy at all to use that Feathered Airstrike, knowing that there are people there, knowing that Leo Murphy will be there for backup. Few will want to get close to try to interrupt that, or he's really just trying to move away from that. See, tried to deal damage. Leo Murphy's there. Ejector. Good defense there by Lusty, but because Few and Lusty are down, are low, that's how Alter Ego secures the first turtle of the game. Again, that's just good sense by Alter Ego to turn what could have been a bad situation for Udil and for their team into a good one. Now, Bren Esports played that right. They knew they needed to make a play so that they have a little bit of better turtle control. Alter Ego would be more hesitant to take this turtle if Udil was down, because a lot of their damage is coming from Farsa and that Feathered Airstrike. But since Udil survives, they're confident. They still continue to take the turtle. Now, after this, just trying to check my notes here. Okay. So, this would eventually lead to the next big team skirmish here. Again, micro plays here. A lot of the teams do this, but you see how Alter Ego wants to bring the turtle closer to this side. Closer to their side of the river, or their side of the map, their jungle. So that it's going to be riskier for any member of Bren Esports to get closer. Carl TZ had to really just try to get information from Flap where it was, but great positioning by Alter Ego to hold control. First turtle of the game is going to go to them, and just look at this sequence. Feathered airstrike, force him back. Great ejector there by Leo Murphy. Ahmad, bring that back. Good spot there. Going aggressive. Electo final blow, chasing after Flap. It's just bad luck that Few was there to eat that up. Blinks past it, doesn't get pushed back because of the blink forward of the Electo final blow. That takes Benedetta out of the map, which is why you didn't see Benedetta get knocked back here. Great blazing duet by Selly Boy, but that still doesn't do that much damage in that game. So Alter Ego walk away with the turtle and the kill. So little by little, Alter Ego is now getting better control of the map and better control of the game. Bren Esports isn't that far ahead though. Isn't that far back. So Bren Esports don't need to worry that much. Now it's here that you're starting to see what would end up becoming one of the biggest problems for Bren Esports, which is that Pi, this guy on this 1-1, just doing work. He's really just doing work. Didn't go there to help. His job is to just split push the lane, make the most out of the gold lane bonuses, and then the shield turrets as well. Rebo left that to fight. So essentially, Bren committed 5 in a 5 versus 4 skirmish to potentially take the turtle, a major objective, and it just went south. They lost 1, so that's a big loss because they got the turtle. Alter Ego got a kill, and then Pi is able to farm up. We're gonna be seeing also eventually the first item check of the match. Carl TZ would get taken out. Spotted out there by members of Alter Ego. Great positioning by Leo Murphy there earlier. And now going to this part of the match, you can already see here that 1-1 already has the corrosion scythe. That's how do I say this? That's how far ahead the 1-1 is at this point in the game. Mind you, Carl TZ's farming wasn't disrupted that much. But because of one mistake, make that 2, Carl TZ would get taken out 3 times. The 2 of those kills were from mistakes. One of them was just, better play by Alter Ego. But this is something that you don't want to see. Like this early on, that 1-1 already having the corrosion scythe. Your own carry down by 1.1k. Rebo is the highest there because, of course, he was in the gold lane, but he doesn't have a full item just yet. Bloodlust Axe already for the Benedetta. The Khalid is still on the way to the Blade of Despair. So this is already a lineup, an Alter Ego ready to fight and can win skirmishes. They're going to be going to skirmishes with an advantage. It's not a sure win, but it's a hell of a lot easier to win. And now you see here, Flap going into the lane to hold it, to disrupt the farm of Pi a little bit more, who is already sitting at 2 kills here. Now, next sequence here doesn't happen too long after that. See here, the pressure in mid lane is crazy. Great rotation again by Udil, Leo Murphy, Alter Ego. As information, Leo Murphy's positioning is always ready to cut the man trying to escape. That will always be, almost always, that was Leo Murphy's positioning when they're going in a gank. I know that's pretty standard for pro teams, but then Leo Murphy just tunnel visioned that role so well. Feathered airstrike, forcing out, knowing that he's there. That's like signal that okay, Rebo's here. Leo Murphy is biding his time. Spots out Few. Sees that, checks that bush, knowing that there might be someone there. He'll be able to handle the damage coming from the Valier. Udil will be able to cut that off, deal damage here. Just has to watch out for Lusty. But this could be a really good situation for Bren, but it's not, because Rebo just took a lot of damage. Because of the great rotations coming in from that Farsa, he's forced to go back. This would eventually lead into a kill onto Few. More kills there for Udil's Farsa. More items. I'm going to fast forward it Till a minute after, a lot of action would happen. The bottom tower would get destroyed. Bren Esports would find a fight here though. After they got few. Lusty, way far back, able to kick Leo Murphy. I'm pretty sure he meant to kick Celiboy. But maybe he meant to kick Leo Murphy, but a target's a target. Raging Sandstorm by Flap. They get to secure a kill here, but Celiboy, again, free hitting. Ahmad can go forward. Feathered Airstrike again for Udil. But Ahmad gets taken out. So, Bren Esports are going to be happy about that, but then they gave this up. Bot side control. And now Bren Esports, you'd see that they would have great difficulty really just trying to balance who goes to defend, who goes to fight, because they needed Rebo. They needed all bodies on deck ready to fight and go for the skirmishes. But of course, they needed to balance that with a split push here. Really, Pyle. He just pushed. He just focused on pushing. We have this saying with mobile games like this, trinabaho lang, meaning he just did his work. And Pai, he definitely just did his work. Now, after this and around this point, remember I mentioned Nomad. I mentioned to Nomad that Bren Esports needed somewhat of a miracle to regain control of this game again. I mean, that's a little bit exaggerated, but they needed to do something to wrest control again, away from Alter Ego. Again, look at that. Superior rotation by Silly Boy and Udil takes down Flap. Turtle's about to spawn, and you do not want to be in this situation if you're Bren Esports. Turtle, it's up. See here? I like how Brent played this. Udil's here, Lusty's here, Celiboy. That left Celiboy and Pai to really just try to take down the turtle. Bren Esports knew they had an advantage here, but I don't think they knew that Jawhead and Benedetta were down here in the bottom lane. But still, there's something Bren needed. Small win like that, simple as just using Retribution to steal the turtle away. But again, because of that, Jawhead, Benedetta split pushing. Lusty's gets really low. The Alter Ego, they weren't able to break down that turret, but that's progress. That's big progress. For second tier, man. Again, you're going to have to decide, are we going to defend? Are we going to send someone? Good side steps there by Flap TZ. Now, at this part of the game, you're about to see one of the biggest turnarounds for Bren Esports. First, they get to secure a kill on Pai. Great rotation there by Carl and Few. Great stun there, by the way. If Few didn't land that stun, he most likely would have been able to get enough marks for the crossbow of Tang. Now you're going to see here the skirmish here. Watch Carl TZ, Lusty, a little bit too greedy here. But that buys time. Because now Selly Boys is forced to stick here and fight. Carl TZ, great positioning, great patience to spot out the rotations. Knowing that Udil was coming from the top lane here. So he spots Udil. Rebo gets taken out here, but here comes Carl. One of the biggest damage leaders on Alter Ego is really low. That secures the first kill. That's going to secure the second one for Carl as well there. Double kill for Carl TZ. And of course, Few sticking around like a good support. Really just making sure Carl TZ has a lot of help. Gets to secure a triple kill. Now this was really exciting. Most likely, yeah, Few would not be able to get away from this because this is a Benedetta. But again, great play there by Bren Esports and especially Carl TZ to acknowledge the situation, see everything that was happening, wait for Udil's Farsa to rotate, pick off the Farsa, and then eventually, getting the triple kill. So good play there by Carl. After that sequence, we saw our next item check. Now, Gap's much, much closer. Instead of having a 1k gold lead, 200 between the 1-1 and the Roger here, the bottom. Let's make this a little bit larger. Benedetta not that far off, 700. At least this man staying close. Raptor Machete and this battle, Bren Esports are happy about that. 3.5k gold lead for Alter Ego. But again, that's not impossible to come back from. Considering everything that has happened to Bren Esports so far in this matchup, at this point in the game, just a 3.5k gold lead for Alter Ego. Bren Esports should be happy about that, because definitely it could have been so much more. It could have been a way bigger lead there for Alter Ego. This next sequence here is crucial. Look at the movement of Carl TZ around the map. Look where he's going. Instead of going straight for the fight here, he knows that the turtle is up. Plays like these are usually meant that Bren knows that the turtle is up. Alter Ego will probably leave one to take it. The Claude will be able to solo it anyway. Maybe Odil will come to help. But that all the focus is here. Flap is coming to help Carl TZ as well. So the TZ brothers are there. And just look at Carl chasing after that Claude. He'll be able to secure the kill with all the action here. He gets to take down the core eventually. That's few. So far, that's a 1-for-1 trade. Mega kill for Carl. Turtle was secured by Selly Boy, but Carl's able to get away. So that's not bad. Actually, no. Was Carl able to get away? Yes, he was. With the help of Flap and the rest of Bren. So again, Carl TZ showing up. And the rest of Bren really acknowledging that the situation is okay. Carl's going to try to go steal the turtle. Maybe try to take down Selly Boy. We're going to lose members here in this fight, but we're going to try to fight to create space. Good call there by Bren. Not long after that, we saw a team fight. Great exchange here. It's a trade, but look at all the damage coming out from the Feathered Airstrike. Again, this Farsa was such a problem. First death would go in the hands of Carl TZ though, onto Leo Murphy. But then the members of Bren would fall down. Way too much burst damage. All zoned in this area. They all just ate Electo final blows. They ate the Feathered Airstrike. The damage as well from the 1-1. Crazy. But that's a 2-for-2 trade. Ahmad secures a double kill. And at this point, Ahmad is 7-3-2. He was the sleeper hit in this match. Because he was racking up kills, with the chase downs. But then, of course, that's a Benedetta with an execute. So, essentially, just like before, or just like how we analyzed it in the draft, this is a triple core setup. Hell, you can even consider this a 4-core setup. That's just way too much damage all from the side of Alter Ego. Picking the Benedetta is acknowledging the fact that that is going to deal so much damage and can play like a carry. And Ahmad played like a carry in this game. And as we and Nomad like to say it, he played like a madman. A madman. If you want to really be specific with the pronunciation. But at least it was Carl TZ again, able to get the double kill and getting the shutdown gold onto the Benedetta as well. So, this is how Bren Esports are staying close. They're trading. Yes, they lost Lusty. Yes, they lose Flap. But Carl TZ got a double kill. He's 6-3-6. As long as this Roger stays close, Bren Esports has hope. Now, this is second to the last play that we're going to look at here. And this is the costly Lord Steal that Bren Esports went for. The thing that hurt about this is that Bren Esports, specifically Carl TZ, Lusty Flap here, Rebo, just in case, they were in great position to steal this Lord away. Any other team may have continued this Lord. Or just in time, a member of Bren Esports could have been here so that the Lord wouldn't fully reset. But what happened was, the Lord really low. The quick decision, the little decision by Alter Ego that had the biggest consequence of to reset that Lord. Leo Murphy baited out skills here. That's Lunox's third gun. Way of the Dragon used by Leo Murphy, by Lusty onto Leo Murphy to create space. Mod using the Electo final blow, stopping Rebo from entering. They had to reposition. They won't be able to help Lusty here. Few was down. Crossbow of tank charges there, targeted straight onto Lusty. Carl TZ would really just do everything he can to wait. Carl TZ shows up here, but that's information from Leo Murphy knowing where Carl is. Flap trying to disrupt because they know that the play is really to just try and steal the Lord. We'll bring that back a bit. Again, here we go. Look at that. But then, again, just really good positioning by Leo Murphy to wait here. Knowing that if anyone would be trying to steal here, would try to steal this Lord, most likely, more often than not, they will have to pass through here. So Leo Murphy was here. Shut down, 2 down. Carl TZ with his 4th death. And the Lord by Alter Ego. Bren would be able to defend, hold them back. They will fight back, but as we all know, in the end, Alter Ego will win this. And really, because of the chaos of it all, Nomad and I weren't able to highlight some specific things about the last sequence, but let's just check it out. Last turret here, up for Bren Esports. Flap TZ gets caught out in the mid lane, already forcing out the power forward or brilliance away from Rebo's Lunox. Flap TZ taking a lot, forced to use the quicksand guard, breaks down the 3rd tower. Ahmad, Electo final blow from here, right here, forcing the members back. Carl TZ slightly out of position, but not too bad because the rest of Alter Ego focus here anyway. Again, feathered airstrike, and this key moment that Nomad was able to call out. Leo Murphy. Watch Leo Murphy here. Ejector, focuses Carl, tosses him back, stuns, takes him down. And that was just the beginning of the end for Bren Esports. See it there. They would wait a little bit to force out the minion waves, but with 2 down, you're going to want to end it here. Again, forcing out the quicksand guard, focusing on the base. You can do everything you can. You need a miracle at this point to try to defend this, but look at that. Leo Murphy at that point didn't care, just already popped off the unstoppable force to focus down Flap, trying to run. Doesn't care if he goes all the way there. Even got to ejector him. One of the crucial moments we weren't able to call. Fuse really low, Rebo. Wave clear, but the sheer damage coming out at this point. Another ejector. More than enough. And that's all she wrote. And Alter Ego secures it. 11-0. Clean. If you thought that Omega versus Bren at the finals of MPL Philippines Season 6 was a great tutorial on how to ML, I feel like Alter Ego really just showed the entire world, not just the region, the entire world at that point, at the end of this tournament. This is how you play this game. The rotations, the drafting all throughout were just really great. And it was a well-deserved victory for Alter Ego. They were just a better team at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong, Bren Esports, they're a great team. They deserve the championship in the Philippines. There's a reason why they're one of the best, if not the best team in the Philippines. But that's the thing about competition. There are times where you're the best. There are times where someone's better than you. So it's going to be interesting to see how Bren Esports bounces back from this. We've seen in the past Bren Esports be at the top of the mountain and come back. Before, it took a while for them to come back. But then, with the sheer talent they have in this current roster, pretty sure it won't take them that long. Once again, thank you so much for spending all this time. This ended up being a really long video, but there it is, a really in-depth analysis of what happened in the match between Bren Esports and Alter Ego, and how Alter Ego was able to win game number 3. Thank you so much for the time you gave me here, for all the support over on my Facebook page. Once again, that's fb.gg/MasterRepi or at MasterRepi, Redmar the Reptar. And of course, if you haven't yet, subscribe, click that bell icon. Join us here on our YouTube page. Help it grow. And don't worry, more content like this is coming your way. Thank you so much. It's been Reptar. See you on the next one.